All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I will call this meeting to order. And Greg, we did a visual roll call.
Cindy, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Does anyone have a conflict of interest to disclose other than what has already been disclosed? All right, hearing none, we'll move forward. I need a motion to approve the minutes from our last open session at the AGM.
So moved.
I'll take them.
Anyone opposed? Great, the minutes are approved. I'd like to start this meeting by welcoming our newest board members, Kate Word, Matt Freeze, Steve Everett, and Jim Sadowski. We're so excited to have you on board and look forward to working with you. I love that most of you joined all of our committee meetings leading up to this board meeting, so I know you will continue to be engaged. We have a ton of exciting things to chat about today. First, our in-service to soccer strategy that you all have given us valuable input on, so thank you for that. Our home, the Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center, which will open up next spring. Soccer Forward Foundation and all the great work Lex has done there, as well as Michelle King's very generous gift. I'd also like to welcome our newest partner in American Airlines. Well done to our whole commercial team led by Dave. And of course, we are the sole bidders for the 2031 Women's World Cup, which will be the biggest women's sporting event ever. I am so proud of the progress that we continue to make, and I'm confident in the direction we're heading together. But as you all know, there is still a lot of work to do, and I look forward to doing that work with all of you. So to kick things off, I will now hand it over to JT.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Cindy, and good morning, everyone. We're excited to share with you the progress we've made on our in-service to soccer strategy and around how at U.S. Soccer, everything we're doing is running through the lens of how we support soccer coming to life in communities all across the country. And as you can see from our visual, as we shared at our AGM, as well as now on our website, a big part of our focus is also sharing all of the things we are doing across U.S. Soccer to be in service to you, whether you're a recreational program or a professional club, a referee, a coach, a player, a fan, or for so many of us, a number of those roles, we at U.S. Soccer are focused on supporting you. And so with that, I'll turn it over to the team to be able to walk you through some of the progress we're making on delivering against this promise.
Can we go to the next slide, please?
Great. I think I am up. So thanks, JT and Michael. So we're thrilled to share that we are on track for a spring of 2026 opening for the Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center. Operational planning is well underway to bring this vision to life. We can't wait to engage with all of you to hear how you hope to use the facility. And in the second half of this year, we're excited to begin accepting event reservations for 2026 and 27. Now I'd like to pass it over to Gooch to share updates of our Unified Youth Calendar.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Shell. As part of our US Way strategy that we've been speaking to the entire landscape, we are establishing a 2-year rolling youth domestic calendar in collaboration with our member organizations, realizing that there are a number of different leagues and competitions concurrently operating, yet only a finite number of days in the year to organize their events. There are potentials and likelihoods of schedule overlap. Our goal of the unified calendar is to proactively bring attention and raise awareness of all youth events in order to mitigate and avoid calendar conflicts and facilitate early resolution conversations when those overlaps do arise. We believe that this is a simple yet extremely collaborative tool that will benefit all youth membership. After meeting with national membership organizations and key stakeholders, I am thrilled to announce that we have launched the beta testing of the unified calendar in April last month. Our aim will be to have the full calendar available on ussoccer.com later this spring, and we will share access in the US Soccer member letter. Next, I'll pass it to Lex to walk us through the updates on the Soccer Forward Foundation.
Thank you so much, Gooch. Hello, everyone. Good morning. We've had a really packed, brilliant couple of months since speaking with you all last. You have seen, I am sure, the wonderful announcement that Kaniska Innovation Hub has been integrated into Soccer Forward Foundation, along with a very generous gift from Michelle King. We are developing alongside and with that team the standards around the women's game, which will specifically look at evolving and professionalizing further the development of standards to look at health, performance, education, inclusion around the professional and competitive women's game, first and foremost, and then sharing that with the world of soccer, which is very exciting. We are also looking at a research agenda with that team, particularly looking at women's health outcomes. We also kicked off our Soccer Everywhere for Everyone strategy. We held 2 amazing community spotlight events around our women's national team friendlies against Brazil in California, where we engaged hundreds of youth and our partners and members in spotlighting great work happening in the community. And we are busy developing our resource hub and our tools and advocacy resources around more spaces to play and soccer in schools.
All right, thank you, Lex.
Thanks, Sherry.
All right, so there are 4 areas that I want to highlight today on the soccer services front. First, our disability service organization. Second, refereeing, player registration, and finally, the Safe Soccer Clearance Program. So starting with our disability service organizations, in March, we completed a current state audit of our DSOs to assess existing resources across the ecosystem and really identify where do we see there are key gaps or unmet needs. And so this summer, excited to say that as a result of this, we are going to be releasing 2 key tools. The first, a 101 guide for each of our disability disciplines, covering what each disability is, coaching, refereeing tips, equipment needs, and more. And second, a grant funding application guide with templates, testimonials, and case studies to support our DSOs in securing funding. Next, on the refereeing front. So this year, we reached a record 42 FIFA recognized referees and continue to celebrate the contributions of referees across all levels of the game. We introduced 3 new national referee awards, which is hugely exciting, including our inaugural Fernando G. Alvarez Referee Champion Award, which was presented to Don Wilbur at our annual general meeting that took place earlier this year in Atlanta. We've also initiated our phase 3 of our referee abuse prevention program. And this phase is really aimed at launching a centralized reporting system, really enhancing our adjudication and accountability processes, and ensuring this is all linked up to our Safe Soccer Clearance Program. On the player registration front, our national associations, USYS, AYSO, and US Club, have all agreed to move to a September 1st date as the player registration cycle, starting for the 2026 to the 2027 playing year. There is no registration change for the upcoming 25 to 26 playing year. And in addition, we will be launching a tool to display a player's passable age group based on their birth date to help really support throughout this process. And finally, the Safe Soccer Clearance Program. I am thrilled to announce that this month, we are formally launching our Safe Soccer Clearance Program, which is going to be supported by a nationwide marketing campaign, which we want to share a quick video with you now.
We recognize that everyone at each level of the game plays a key role in fostering safe environments in soccer. Everybody deserves a healthy environment, one that we must cultivate together as a team. Because eliminating abuse isn't just a goal, it's our responsibility. That's why US Soccer is launching the Safe Soccer Clearance Program. The first of its kind, this program greenlights participants through education, awareness, and screening. From the field to the sidelines and beyond, the Safe Soccer Clearance Program was built to change behavior and mindsets and create a community of participants, from players to coaches to officials to fans, where everyone feels protected and empowered. Through everyone's involvement, we can create a safer future for soccer. It starts with coaches, it starts with referees, it starts with parents, it starts with players, it starts with you.
Awesome. So as I said, we are launching this month and we are we are actively working with our member organizations to help support implementation planning. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of this process. We could not have done this without you, and we are excited about the next step here. If you are interested, please reach out. There's an email on the screen, and you can find out more information on how to adopt the program. So thank you. That's everything from Soccer Services.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you all here today, and I'll be providing a very exciting update on behalf of our commercial organization. So moving into the next slide, this past Wednesday, we were proud to welcome our 18th partner into the U.S. Soccer family, with American Airlines becoming the official airline of the U.S. Soccer Federation. I actually had the pleasure of being down there at their company headquarters in Fort Worth, Texas, for their company-wide announcement. It was a really incredible sight to see over 1,000 employees attend what was essentially a fan fest and pep rally in their lobby. When you see that kind of excitement and engagement right off the bat, and just understand how many passionate U.S. soccer fans are within that company, it really reiterated what a great partnership this is going to be for U.S. soccer and American alike. American's partnership will focus on rewarding one of the largest parts of our broader soccer ecosystem, our most loyal fans, elevating their experience in multiple areas, including our Insiders Loyalty Program, our Insiders Lounge at matches, as well as offering unique rewards, redemption opportunities, and travel experiences, across the country. The opportunities are endless, and we're really excited to build this together with them. But more broadly, our relationship with American Airlines reflects a commitment to purpose-driven partnerships. We have a saying in the commercial organization: we don't bring on sponsors, we bring in partners. And in establishing new partnerships, we are very thoughtful and very deliberate about selecting brands that share our core values and really understand and are bought into our vision of operating in service to soccer, and want to join us and show that willingness to join us in service to the broader sport. So moving into the next slide, please. And zooming out a little bit here, you can see our current roster of partners. And as was mentioned earlier in the presentation, soccer investment is one of our 3 key principles within our service to soccer strategy. And our ability to bring in revenue has a direct impact on our ability to grow the sport at every level, all the way from our 27 national teams to the Arthur M. Blank National Training Center outside of Atlanta, and extending throughout the broader ecosystem across the country. I can say very confidently, working across a lot of these partnerships, that it is that strategy, that mission, and that broader purpose that's really resonated in the marketplace. It's differentiated us from other sports properties, and has been a key factor in enabling us to build such a roster of blue chip brands that are very much aligned with us from an organizational perspective and want to grow the game. Each one of the brands you see here has made a multi-year commitment to the Federation and has invested at a threshold that will meaningfully support the implementation of our in-service to soccer strategy. They've all leaned in different ways, and it's their contributions over the next few years that are going to play a very crucial role in enabling us to fund expanded programming, member services, and community initiatives that are going to benefit the entire soccer ecosystem for generations to come. So with that, I thank you for your time today, and I will pass it off to our Chief Advancement Officer, Leah Burton. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Good morning. And for those of you that I haven't met, again, Will said, my name's Leah Burton, and I have the pleasure of overseeing U.S. Soccer's fundraising program, otherwise known as our Advancement Department. And as you've heard throughout the meeting from my colleagues, alongside the incredible work we've accomplished over the past year and with the launch of our in-service to soccer strategy, we have simultaneously worked to reposition our fundraising program at U.S. Soccer. And the goal being ultimately that this is an additional way in which we can bolster soccer investment to fund our strategies. the US Way, Soccer Forward, and Soccer Services. And our work's core focus is to bring in these new resources, which allows us to fund the things that we collectively care about and increases our ability to go out and deliver upon our in-service to soccer strategy for the entire ecosystem. Donations fund the projects and programs that benefit our overall membership, soccer community at large, and our national teams. And we have really big ambitions to continue to deliver for all of these areas into the future. And over the past year, you have heard in recent meetings that we've raised a record $72.5 million, or 12 times what was previously historic amounts, to fund the activities that fuel soccer's growth. And we are grateful to the thousands of our supporters who have made this possible, and many of whom are joining us virtually today. And I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the larger US soccer staff, the advancement team, and our volunteer leadership and our board who've worked tirelessly on behalf of the entire ecosystem to accomplish these tremendous results. So congratulations and thank you. However, I'd like to share that this also isn't just a story of historic investments, though we view these as a testament that our strategy has resonated with our key audiences. It's a story of the young child who donated the proceeds of their lemonade stand to support accessibility into the game. The story of a volunteer leader and board member who established an endowed fund to support elite amateur soccer, as well as the lifelong fan and former player who made a gift in memory of their late father and helped build the new home for soccer in our country. Philanthropy in our work is the story of all of us, working in service to the game that we love with the shared belief that soccer is a force for good. And we also know that our fundraising efforts are beneficial to our vision and goals for several reasons. And you see it here on this slide. It helps expand programming for all of our teams. Our supporters can be uniquely attuned to developmental efforts that don't take place in a public eye, such as expanded scouting, coaching pipelines, safeguarding, and grassroots initiatives. It also enables us to scale social impact, contributing to the legacy of our sport. And this work aligns beautifully with the benefits of soccer: youth development, health and wellness, access and inclusion, opportunities for underrepresented individuals and communities, and the core thesis really of what you heard Lex speak about in the Soccer Forward update. And lastly, this work helps to build our soccer infrastructure, both our physical and digital homes. Our supporters have shown that they are willing to support pilot programs, experimental initiatives, and high-impact projects that other sources of revenue might consider outside of their scope. And as we know, this is a time of unprecedented momentum for soccer in America, and our success is mutually reinforcing. We're in the early days of scaling our in-service to soccer strategy, as you've heard, and raising additional revenue really will unlock speed and scale to achieve these big ambitions. And so thanks to donations at every level, we're the world leader in disability soccer. We can develop and support more players, coaches, and referees than ever before. And we will offer more trainings and camps and build the state-of-the-art Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center. We will prepare our teams for success on the local and world stage, and their victories will inspire all of our communities in the nation. But however, perhaps most important of all, these contributions will enable more Americans of all ages to make soccer a part of their lives, and our momentum will carry us forward. Our goal is that our work growing fundraising is able to help drive this dream, all in service to the game we love, and that together we will create the future of soccer in America. So we look forward to sharing much more with you as this journey unfolds. And thank you. And I'm going to pass it over to Sherry for some wonderful ecosystem updates.
Excellent. Thank you, Leah. As is customary, we'd like to turn it over to our board representatives to give us some updates from around the ecosystem. So let's go ahead and pass it over to John Mata on the adult side.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. And I want to start off by updating everyone and talking about the two national championships that the Adult Council will be hosting this year. And I'll begin with the first one, which is the Brandy Chastain Cup, which is in its inaugural year. It's our first time doing it, and I want to thank Richard Groff and Kendra Haldeman, who's been working tirelessly to get this off the ground and to get this first women's national championship going. We're hoping that this will become the kickoff for a Women's Open Cup in the future. So this is kind of a test ground for Women's National Championship. I want to announce the game schedule. So on May 24th, The Pan World Elite, which was USASA's national championship, will be playing the California Storm, which was the WPSL champions. And that game will be played, I believe, in Utah. The second women's game will be June 4th in Richmond, where the Richmond Ivy from the USLW League, they were the champions, will be playing the New England Mutiny, which was the United Women's Soccer champions. So these are the 4 top women's amateur teams from around the country who will be, competing for that first Brandy Chastain National Championship. On the men's side, it's the 13th year of the Steinbrecher Cup. And I'm happy to say that we'll be hosting that event in New Hampshire. And it will be held on the weekend of June 6th through the 8th. So on June 6th, we will have the men's semifinal where the El Farolito, and everybody knows who El Farolito, they were the amateur team that went the furthest in the US Open Cup. They will be joining us in New Hampshire, and they were the NPSL champions. And they will face off against Westchester United, who are the defending champions, and they're out of Philadelphia. El Farolito is out of San Francisco. Westchester are the defending champions of the Steinbrecher Cup. So they will meet in the first semifinal, 5 p.m. on June 6th. And then at 7:30 that same night, Seacoast Phantoms, which are the host team, they're out of New Hampshire, will be facing the Houston Regals, who were crowned the USSSA national champions last weekend, representing USSSA, and they're of course out of Houston. And then the finals will be held on June 8th, Sunday at 1 p.m. And that is my report. And I hope to see everybody in New Hampshire and at the women's games to support the best amateur soccer teams in the country.
Thank you, John. Moving over to youth, we'll start with Tina.
Hey guys, how's it going? A couple things. So I know last meeting I talked about how we had appointed Tom Condona as our interim CEO at USU Soccer, and we are happy to announce that he has been appointed full-time CEO. So if you know him, congratulate him. We are super excited to keep working with him. I'm excited about my partnership and just continue to look forward to the future ahead. The board and staff leadership continue to work to refine our strategic focus to better support the state associations and to grow the game. We've been fortunate enough to work alongside US Soccer for the past few months and really take a deep dive into reviewing our state associations, our strengths and weaknesses, and how we can all work better to be in service of soccer. And so want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Michael, Karen, and Anna and the whole team over there for all the time and effort that they've put in and what I know will be more time and effort over the next couple months. Across the youth landscape right now, I'm not going to go through all of the schedule like John just did, but we are in cup season and we have a lot of stuff going on. USYS, ECNL, US Club, everything right now over the next couple months. We're going to be on the road and watching a lot of soccer. So as board members, if any of you guys have an event in your area, we would love to see you going out and supporting the youth soccer game. If you recall at our last AGM and youth council meeting, we discussed a bylaw that had been proposed to give awareness and attention to the referee side of things. And so John Mata and myself have created a working group with some members of the adult council and some members of the youth council to work with US Soccer to see how we can better make sure that there is representation of referees on the board and at the national level. So John has started the conversation with Carrie Seitz, and we are hoping to get a little bit more guidance so that we can make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that referees' voices are seen and heard. So thank you to John and thank you to Doug Ryan as well from AYSO that's helping to lead that charge. And lastly, again, at the youth council level, the commissioners are continuing to work hard and get together to talk about some of the things that we can do to streamline the ecosystem and get rid of some of that fracturing. So we're talking about tryout policy, coaching education, and then Sherry, you stole my thunder about the roster formation. And I know my members have had questions about when the toolkit's going to come out and stuff. And so everyone's really looking forward to that so that we can just plan ahead. But yeah, thank you guys so much and appreciate everything.
Thank you, Tina. And we'll now throw it over to Mike.
Good morning, everybody. Tina and John, thank you for your leadership on the referee front. Anecdotally, I think the referee abuse prevention V2, excuse me, is having an impact, especially in areas where leagues are proactively sending out reminders. So I would encourage folks to continue to do that. As far as U.S. Club is concerned, we just finished 2 very successful trips into Europe with ID2. The girls were in France. A special thank you to Lindsay Heaps, Sophia Huerta, and Crystal Dunn for taking time out of their day to spend with the girls. It was certainly a highlight of their trip. And the boys, another successful trip into Scotland, and a special thank you to Celtic and Brendan Rodgers for inviting us into their home in match day -3, in where they clinched their championship, but their league title, and Brendan spending some time with our technical staff. So thank you very much to each of them. Yesterday, we announced the launch of our online education center. We have some ambitious goals in terms of education and developments at large. Coaches, players, clubs, administrators, and parents, and obviously safeguarding compliance are all going to be part of our offerings, both on the free side and then in an elevated side. And then lastly, as Tina said, ECNL Regional League and NPL, we are entering playoff season. Certainly always exciting to be on the field and recognize a year's worth of football from the players. And each of those platforms will have some meaningful growth next year. So we're looking for even more soccer inside of those leagues. And with that, back to you, Sherry.
Thank you, Mike. Now shifting over to at large and Steve.
Right, I'm on. Good morning, everybody. The at-large group, as we all know, is a very diverse group. We met at the AGM and we had some good collaboration on some discussions on the frequency in which we would like to meet. So I think that's a really big topic for us. It might be one of those things that we're meeting more often, and through that, it is my opinion that we will be able to collaborate a lot more, discuss some of the topics in which are important to this unique group. And by doing so, we just might find that we are more common than what we actually think we are. And so I'm looking forward to working with this group and coming to a conclusion on how frequently we want to dive into some of the things that are incredibly important to this group. I also wanted to ask if it would be okay to double dip, since I'm the chair of the DSO, just to highlight something. I know, Sherry, you had already mentioned some of the stuff that we're doing with our goals and stuff with that group. But our very own David Robinson from Top Soccer has given us an incredible opportunity for the DSO visibility at our upcoming women's national team versus Ireland on June 26th in Colorado. David secured 11 player escort spots along with a booth and a potential activity space during that game and that event. These 11 escorts will be girls ages 7 to 9 with disabilities, various disabilities. So we're really, really excited for that as well. So yeah, that's my report.
Thank you, Steve. And finally, going over to Amanda on the pro side.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I've got some notes. It's great to hear everyone's updates. I'll share from our last board meeting. We've actually had a couple of big announcements. At the USL, we've kicked off 4 of our leagues, Championship League 1 and the men's pro side, and our pre-pro league, the W League and League 2. We're also currently rounding the final few weeks of the Super League inaugural season. So big picture, those are the things I'm going to touch on today in my update. First in March, the two big announcements. First, in March, we announced that a supermajority of club owners voted to adopt a promotion and relegation system within our USL men's professional ranks, making us the first professional sports league in the US to implement this global model. It's the next step in building a fully connected, three-tiered professional men's pathway, and we're very excited about getting that moving and getting that going forward. Of course, following the announcement of our new Division I league, which I talked about on our last board call. Second, in April, we announced our groundbreaking naming rights partnership with Gamebridge for the USL Super League, making them the first ever entitlement partner of a U.S. professional league, a significant milestone for the Super League, the business of soccer, and for women's sports overall. I think it's noteworthy that this signals, of course, and aligns with the rising commercial momentum of our game, which we're all seeing across U.S. soccer, which is exciting. But to note, 40% of Gamebridge's sports investment is directed towards women's sports, underscoring their commitment to equity and opportunity. Our response to both announcements has been overwhelmingly positive, and we're excited about the place that the USL is in, reflecting our sport's growing demand and momentum. A couple key things on the men's pathway. The first 2 months of the season, we have had several record-breaking achievements. The USL Championship set a new regular season viewership record on CBS, with 453,000 people tuning in for San Antonio versus Phoenix Rising, which is a 20% increase over last year's season average. The Oakland Roots welcomed 26,575 fans at the Oakland Coliseum, marking the largest attendance for USL match since 2018. And One Knoxville set a League One record with 6,378 fans at its inaugural match at Covenant Health Park. Rhode Island FC opened a brand new 10,700-seat Centerville Bank Stadium, the anchor of a major mixed-use development, and sold out their opening game. 3 of the 5 new USL League One clubs hosted sold-out openers, with Portland Hearts of Pine nearing a season-long sellout. And thank you, Nathan. I know you were at that Hearts of Pine game. It was exciting to see all the pictures that I saw come out. During the March international window, 25 championship and League One players were called up to represent their respective national teams. In League Two, we kicked off our 30th season last weekend, featuring 30 new clubs for a total of 144 teams competing this year. And the USL impact on the US men's national team, worth noting, since the start of 2024, over 40 USL alumni have received call-ups to the to the US men's national team, including 19 from the USL Championship, 6 from League One, and 9 from League Two. So we're excited about that. Moving into the women's pathway, as I mentioned, the inaugural season for the Super League wraps up in less than 3 weeks. Charlotte Ascent was the first team to clinch a playoff spot, leaving 3 playoff spots still undecided, a very competitive final 3 weeks of the season. Our playoffs kick off the weekend of June 7th, and the final is set for June 14th. We're excited I can't wait to hand the trophy over of our inaugural season. What an exciting moment in time we're having with the USL Super League. The W League launched its 4th season with 93 clubs across 15 divisions. Our pre-professional league off and running, already strong. And more than 50 W League alumni have competed in the Super League this season, which is about 25% of our playing pool has W League experience. And that really speaks to the pathway and the development and growth opportunity within the USL structure that we're quite proud of. On the U.S. Women's National Team front with USL Impact, Academy players Emma Johnson in Lexington and Celie Strawn in Dallas were both called into the U18 training camp in April. And I'll make a note that 14-year-old Valentina Parada at DC Power became the youngest player to start and compete in a Super League match, continuing a trend of young domestic talent gaining early pro experience in the USL. So thank you for the long time. There's a lot happening in the USL right now. I'm excited to share all of it with you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you everyone for the great updates. I think we will now shift to next board meeting. There we go.
So our next board meeting will be in person, September 5th in New Jersey, associated with I believe, to be announced game very, very, very close nearby, which we're excited about. And with that, we will wrap the open session for board members and staff will be joining for the closed session that will begin promptly at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And with that, I look forward to seeing everyone soon.